Hey everybody, it's Tony TC Coleman, and today you're here with me on my Drummer Knows Best podcast. So I want everybody to subscribe, like, and share on my podcast so we can make this thing grow. And today I got somebody really special to kick it off. Today it's going to be my good friend, drummer Liberty DeVitto from Billy Joel Forever, and it's going to be a lot of fun today with Liberty. Hey, Tony T.C. Coleman, drummer knows. That's what I'm talking about. Subscribe, like, and share on all platforms. Hey, y'all, it's Tony T.C. Coleman. Drummer knows best. All drummers know best. Y'all know that. And I got one that knows best. He really knows best. He was with Billy Joel forever. He was with Billy Joel, I think, when they were in like grade school or something, fourth grade, or when he was on one of those little bitty, anyway. I don't have to tell y'all about this guy. Liberty DeVitto. Hey Liberty, what's up, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You're almost right. I did meet Billy when I was 17 years old. We both played in the same club, and he was in a band called the Hassles. I was in a band called the New Rock Workshop, and we kind of passed in the dark and said hi to each other. So
Right?
when it was time for me to get with the band, the bass player Doug Stegmeyer, when Billy was looking for a drummer, Doug Stegmeyer said, "Hey, you know the guy, man. You've known him. You've seen him play." And that's when I got that gig.
Wow, man. So you guys were like doing the thing, playing for high school proms and all this kind of thing, and going to the little clubs and stuff like that.
All
And
that stuff, all that stuff, man. Singing
hey,
Sam and Dave, and all that kind of stuff. R&B, a lot of R&B stuff, and then we did the Rascals, Blue Eyed Soul, all that stuff.
yeah, man. The first time we met, I have to share this, was in St. Louis because I remember every damn thing. You don't even remember, but anyway, the first time we met, I was with Bobby Blue Bland in St. Louis. We were staying at the same hotel, and I saw you in the lobby, and I knew exactly who you were. You didn't know who the hell I was. I said, I said, Liberty. I'm Tony Coleman, man. I'm the drummer with Bobby Blue Bland. He was like, oh man, I love Bobby Blue Bland and BB King tour. And he's like, yeah, man. I said, so you guys were playing at the St. Louis Checker Dome or something it was called. But
Yeah,
anyway, you said, hey, I'll give you some passes. You can come hang with us. And I came backstage and was watching y'all do the sound check. And y'all didn't do one Billy Joel sound at your sound check.
no,
You
we
didn't
don't
do
do.
one Billy Joel song. Y'all were jamming like on some Beatles or something.
We never did the Billy Joel songs at Town Check. It was bad enough we had to do them during the show.
And I and I've always liked your drumming, man. You always been like, let's go get them, bang, bang, bang. Come on, come on.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm a banger. I'm a banger. You're a shuffler, man. There's so many different kinds of shuffles, and if anybody needs someone to shuffle, I always say you got to call TC, man. You got to call TC.
Well, the reason, and I'm still trying to learn those shuffles. The reason is because Bobby Blue Bland was actually the band that I learned he put a lot of emphasis on, man, play it just like the record. And on the record was Jabbo Starks before he
Oh
was with James
gosh,
Brown. Before he went to James Brown, he was with Bobby Blue Bland on Turn On Your Love Light and all that stuff.
yeah.
That's Bobby's number ones, those shuffle tunes. But yeah, Bernard Purdy and all those guys have shuffles, but nobody could shuffle like Jabbo. I
No.
mean, it was like, Bernard is like that halftime shuffle,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
their thing was like a locomotive,
Yeah. There's another shuffle I like. Uh, uh, what's his name? Oh, it just slipped my mind. Earl Palmer. He
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
on um what's that song? Rock and Robin, the original version,
Uh-huh.
shuffles his ass off. Like I listen to that and I go, oh my! I play that for students. I mean, when I do a clinic, I say, listen to this. This is what you have to achieve.
Right, right.
Forget the double pedal. Forget that. Do that.
Well, I before the double pedal, I didn't have one, but you know, I did my Drumeo video about shuffles.
Yes.
And I like reading the compliments about how great I am. You know, it's like, yeah, that's fun. But I like the ones where somebody go, man, that guy sucks, man. That's so boring.
I love that.
And
My favorite was on Drumeo was like, oh yeah, wow, for an old man, he really hits them hard.
right. Yeah, right. I saw Waylon Jennings was talking to Willie Nelson about when George Foreman had a boxing match with the young boxer, and he beat his ass real good.
Yeah.
And Willie asked Waylon, so who won the match? He said George Foreman whooped him. He said, I want to go get me a young country star and just whoop his ass. Because it shows that old men still got it.
That's right. That's right.
So what's one of the groove moments in your playing? What do you think is the thing that really, you know, like defines who you are as Liberty? What is your thing you think is your ingredient?
You know, believe it or not, I played weddings for 2.5 years, and I didn't want to do it in the beginning because I thought I was a rock and roll guy, you know. But I learned more stuff from playing weddings, and carrying over from the weddings, I was able to pick up a brush and a stick at the same time, and came up with that groove for Just the Way You Are. And Just the Way You Are was one of Billy's biggest records.
Yeah, of course it was.
You know, so it's like that was a great moment. Just meeting Phil Ramone, our producer, who produced all those Billy Joel records, you know, that was a great moment because I learned so much. So many people came into the studio. Steve Gadd would walk in the studio.
Cool.
We would work with Richard T. and you know, and Cornell Dupree and all those guys.
Yeah.
You know, so it was so much fun doing those sessions with Phil because he knew all those studio guys. You know,
Yeah.
so you learn. You always want to be the worst one in the band because that's when you learn. You know?
Yeah. So when you were in the studio, would Billy like look at you and tell you, I want you to play this, or was he like, just Liberty, give me something that you feel right now, you know? How?
That's exactly what he would do. It'd be like, what would you play on this? And he would play a little tune or something like that. And you know, I would come up with something, and because Phil Ramone gave me free reign, like,
oh, cool.
I could do whatever I want. You know, like Billy's latest song that he put out called Turn the Lights Back On, Randy Cook plays on that. And people were being really mean, like saying like, oh, Liberty would have done such a better job. Oh, you know, Randy, this guy can't play. And this. So I had to write like, listen, I bet you that the producer told Randy what to play, and Randy had to play it. Phil Ramone gave me free reign to do whatever I wanted. And then we would pick and choose and go like, yeah, that works. That didn't work, but that works. You know, stuff like that. And then I heard back from Randy, and he said, thank you for saying that, because that's exactly what happened. The producer told me what to play. He didn't want me to play any fills, you know?
Right. And that happens. I think that's a mistake that happens a lot. For instance, if I do a session and someone would say to me, hey, TC, you remember how Liberty played with Billy Joel on such and such? I want you to play like Liberty DeVitto played. I go, I got his number, man. Why don't you call Liberty, man? I mean, you know, like
that's exactly it.
Nobody can play like anybody. You can. That's not natural to do that.
Right.
Because now I got to try to figure out how to play like you or anybody else, and I think that's a problem today, in my opinion. Let the drummer be who he is, and let him develop your music by being who he is. I mean, like nobody would come in and tell B.B. King to play like Jimi Hendrix, because it ain't gonna happen, you know.
No.
And the same thing with drummers, you know. Let the drummer be the drummer, who he is.
Think about it. How many original guys have been out there? I mean, they're out there, and if you search the internet, there's guys that are playing like really cool stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But you don't see them on the magazines. You just see all these quick zip guys, you know, that play at like 212 beats per minute.
Hey man, I try to tell cats all the time, man. If you really want to be in a band, don't watch your favorite person that can fly and do somersaults and flips and hand backwards and all this because that's not what people want. They want a good groove, man, a good commit to the groove. Get in there and just commit like a an engine, you
Yeah.
know,
Commit to the
not all
groove.
over the place. You can't if you can't make the heads do this, to me, man, that's not really what I'm all about, all that other stuff. You got to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, I'm telling you, all these guys that are flipping their sticks upside down and throwing them upside down and double bass drum all the way through. And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
forget
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got to put more emphasis on the groove, man. The
The
groove,
groove. It's all about the groove.
you
Man,
know.
when I played with Mitch Ryder, after I left, he was the blue-eyed soul from Detroit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Mitch.
Hmm.
And I learned when I left the band because Johnny St. Omas had come back. It was originally his gig, so I did like 6 weeks on the road with Mitch while he was
Yeah.
sick. So when I left the band, I asked the guys in the band. I said, "What should I listen to?" And they said, "There's two things you should listen to." And it was Kool and the Gang before they were a vocal group, you know.
Yeah, the jazz cool in the game.
Yes, and they said the Meters. They said,
Yeah, oh
"Listen to the
yeah.
Meters."
Zigaboo.
Yeah, Zigaboo, man.
You you know now that's how you could get a gig or not if you could play Sissy Strut, Zigaboo's groove.
Yeah,
I still can't get that. I don't give a damn what I do, man. I still can't get that feel. Those guys have a whole nother thing, man. And
yeah,
I asked Aaron and when we toured with the Neville Brothers, we would tour with the Neville Brothers. I watched Willie Green and all of them play, man. But I would ask Aaron and Cyril, man, why did y'all call the groove the band's the song Sissy Strut? I thought it was like, isn't that kind of bad to be like calling a guy like a sissy? But it was like,
yeah.
no, that's not what it was. It was a lady sissy strut. How
Ah,
she walked, sissy strut. I said, oh, I get it, sissy.
I like that. I like
Yeah, so
that.
it was like, you know,
It's funny. You just mentioned who'd you just mention that played drums that when you were on the tour?
Willie Green, he was
Willie
in
Green,
with
right? I know
Willie Green.
Christine Ullman. You know Christine Ullman? She's a singer. She's the Beehive Queen. She wears her hair really up high. I do a lot of gigs with
Okay.
her. We were in New Orleans, and she took me to see Willie Green. And I walked up to Willie and to say hi, and he started singing Big Shot. You had to be a big shot.
Big shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about, the crossover. The crossover. We listen. I just don't listen to rock guys. I listen to soul guys and all that.
I know, man.
Sissy Strut, what's his name? Zigaboo. Just
Zigaboo. Yeah.
Zigaboo
Zigaboo.
came up to me at the NAMM show and he said, "Liberty, you have taken the drums to another level. Those guys have to keep up with you now, you know."
Yeah, man.
So they're watching. We're all watching. We're
But
watching each other.
since we're talking about like Zigaboo and Willie Green and stuff, what was the one drum groove that you heard that you was thinking like, man, that makes me want to play drums? What was the one drummer, the one song that you heard the drums and it was, yeah, I got it. I like that. What was it
Well,
for you?
growing up, like the Beatles were the first thing that I
Yeah, of
saw. I
course.
just loved being in the band and that whole thing. Then the Rascals were my next favorite. Dino Danelli, loved that because they were blue-eyed soul, so kind of rocky. But the first time I heard the Rascals did Mustang Sally, but really slow. And then when I heard Wilson Pickett's Mustang Sally, it was all over for me. It was like, oh my God. And the guy is playing such a groove and straight through all the way. You know, everything was counted then. Every fill he did, even the little blurb at the end, he does, and back into
Yeah.
the groove again. It all matters.
And the thing about that song, that's like one of the worst songs for cover bands. That's like
Oh, yeah.
the 10 most don't play songs because nobody takes the time to really get that feel. But that song, when you hear that, boom, 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 if you take that out, Man, it sucks. It just doesn't sound the same. It doesn't feel good. That's a
Yeah.
bad groove though. You
Oh, so
gotta stay
bad.
true to the groove, man. You gotta stay true to the recipe.
Yeah, there's a whole thing that happened with soul. I believe that it's like also where you grew up, how you grew up. That
Oh yeah.
that gives you, you Chicago man, you got that shovel thing down. I was a white kid from Long Island, hanging out with my white guy, friends and playing rock and roll. But then
Yeah.
when I heard your kind of music, it was like, oh, I want some of that. You know,
Yeah.
I want some. Where kids are like, you listen to metal and that's it. All you hear is, you know.
And see, I was the opposite. Like I grew up down in Kissimmee, Florida. You remember you used to live in Orlando when
Yeah,
I
I
lived
did.
down there. We used to
Yeah,
hang out a little bit.
yeah,
But growing up down there in Kissimmee, Orlando, all the bands had two drummers, Liberty. Most all the bands had two drummers, two guitar players, one playing chicken and one playing picking. The
yeah.
good bass player, everybody played a B3.
Right.
And all the gigs were upstairs. We had to take that damn B3 upstairs. And every band had at least four horns, at least.
Yeah,
And it was like a James Brown type situation, and they had to dance and play at the same time, and even the drummer had to, play and move. But
yeah.
the thing about that is I grew up around that culture. That's black culture, I mean, it's Black History Month. We thank God we still got it. But
Yes.
anyway, but I was also listening to Ringo Starr on the Ed Sullivan Show. You're gonna hard day's night.
Right.
And I was listening to Deep Purple and Grand Funk and Zeppelin, Bonham. I was listening to
Yeah.
everything, but that's the worst thing people can do is look at you and assume that you're a white guy from East Coast that you can't do some other type of stuff. That's the biggest misconception of people, because we musicians, we be checking everything out, especially drummers.
Exactly. Exactly. See, people ask me, what do you think of John Bonham? And I say, I think John Bonham is an R&B drummer that's behind a big set
Of
because
course he was.
he plays R&B stuff like just the same groove through the whole song. His whole thing is that boom, and a boom, boom,
You
bah,
can hear it.
boom.
You can feel
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
The approach is it's that space. It's funky.
Yes.
Funk is the space. When you don't feel it in, that space is the funk.
Yeah. Yes. You can
Boom,
make more.
boom, bam, boom, boom, bang, boom, 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 bang. That's funk, man.
You make more noise if you leave it out than you do if you put something in. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They actually Led Zeppelin. I was with Bobby Blue Bland. They played at Soldier Field, and then they came to see Bobby Blue Bland at the Burning Spear Club in Chicago.
Yeah.
And they came from their big stadium show, and like Stones used to do in Chicago, come and hang out with Muddy Waters and stuff. And they came to see Bobby Blue Bland. And I was backstage in the alleyway, and these two limos pull up, and they got out, and all the older black cats in the band just saw some hippie long-haired dudes. I knew it. Man, that's Zeppelin, man. And they were like, "Who? Man, that's Led Zeppelin." Because at the black clubs, everybody's dressed to the nines. All of that. And they came in like some raggedy looking little guys.
Right.
And they said, that's Led Zeppelin. So their manager said, we're from England and we're invited to come see Bobby Blue Bland. And I remember the security guy saying to the Purvis band, the promoter, "Hey man, there's some white boys out here say they Zeppelin or something." He said, "Oh, those guys aren't white. They're from England. Let them in."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I hate to use the term ripped off, but you could hear it in their music, and it's been proven that they have ripped off so much black music and just changed a few words to some of those songs. I heard something the other day that was like exactly like
But drummers, Liberty, we're just a different breed because we've been all over the world. And I don't care who you meet or see. If it's a drummer, whether it's a little bitty kid or old guy, drummers, we're like different than guitar players and horn players. We're like, yeah, man, show me that lick, man. Yeah, let's hang out, man. Yeah, let's
right,
play together. We don't feel intimidated by each other.
right,
In most
exactly.
cases, that never happens.
No, no. Oops. Off. Thank you. Off. Off. All right, I'm coming
My
back. Hold
bad.
on.
I
Hold
hear
on.
you.
Hey, while we got this little quick break, Tony, make sure you're checking your phone because I'm sending you some notes. You don't have to,
Oh, I'm sorry. I see right here. I got excited.
Okay. We're
yeah, but
back.
Yeah,
don't be
I
too
see. I
obvious when
see.
you like go to it. Like have it near you so that when it buzzes, you can like glance at it.
Okay, I got you. Well, edit out if I'm talking too much. Edit that. Because I'm
Oh,
excited talking to Liberty's ass.
The conversation's good. I'm just trying to make sure that you're moving along with the topics and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Don't just get
Okay.
caught on
Okay,
one
cool.
topic. There's a bunch of things
Cool.
that you want to cover.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay,
We're
Liberty.
moving on. We're moving
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, we're good.
You
So
finish
Liberty,
it. Yeah,
tell me.
go ahead and finish your thought. You know, just I just want you to be aware of it. And I'm gonna
Yeah,
pin you to
yeah,
certain
thank you.
things and you just transition.
This
You don't have to
Mark.
abruptly stop or anything, but just
Yeah.
transition into, whatever that next.
Yeah.
So we're just
Okay,
talking.
okay.
We're just talking about the groove, baby. We're just talking about
Yeah, I
the
know.
groove.
I
You
know.
see, you see a lot of the drum. You watch that drumeo stuff, and you see guys like, oh, well, this is how I developed playing with my left hand lead. It's like I don't care. Just
I don't either, man.
feel something. Let me feel something. You know.
Yeah, I'm the world that we come from is the pocket, the groove, commit. You got to commit to that groove because a lot of drummers feel boring. It's boring to just go.
No, man, that's the beauty. Yeah,
They feel like, man, this is so damn boring. Man, that feels good, man.
that's
So
what that's what they love, man. That's what they love. That's what
yeah,
everybody
the
else is
beat
playing off of.
exactly. What's the one gig or session that you've had that you were like, man, I'm in the zone. I'm here. Do any particular gig you ever felt like this gig we're on point, all cylinders, bang.
Well, it's happened. So you play so many gigs. I mean, I've spent 30 years with Billy Joel. We did so many gigs.
Yeah.
And you can tell there was a difference. Doug Stegmeyer was a great bass player. Loved Billy. The thing that made him great was he was able to stay out of the way of Billy's left hand. A bass player has a hard time with a piano player and the left hand. But
Oh yeah.
when we got Skylar Dio, Skylar.
Yes.
Yeah, Skylar, he changed the way we played. It was easier for me just to play 2 and 4 now. Just like, I go to extremes. We didn't start the fire, all that stuff, because he was funkier and he was covering more stuff, and I could just go boom, boom, boom. So
Yeah.
you feel the difference.
Bass and drum, that relationship, we have to be peanut butter and jelly, beans and cornbread. We have to be together. We have to be yin and yang, the bass and the drums. Without that, man, that's the groove, that's the foundation. And a
Yeah,
lot of
well, with Scala, man, it was like the drummer was eating spaghetti and Scala was eating fried chicken, and we would like, it worked, man. It was like, okay, you're gonna take the lead on this one, go for it.
yeah,
I'll just go boom, bah, boom, bah,
yeah. I know with Bobby Bland and BB King and Albert King and all those blues people that I work with, man, you can't be too busy, man. Don't when
No.
the bass player, you got to have that same approach. You can't be all up on the neck. No, no, no. We want to hear bass. James Jamerson bass,
Oh
bass.
God, yeah.
I just played with Mr. Bob Stroger, 94 years old. He was like back there with Howlin' Wolf and Muddy. And the man is still cool, he's still sharp, and he's just groove. He's just bass. Boom, 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 boom. It feels so good, man.
Yeah.
Nothing explosive about it, but it's amazing how you can groove like that.
I mean, what makes reggae so interesting is the drums, with the
Yeah.
bass. It's so
And
exciting, and to listen
yeah,
to that coming out of your speakers is like, oh my God.
and and even rap, it's just bass and
Oh,
drums.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just grooves, you know. But even though I know you're natural, we're natural at what we do. But do you ever practice on anything? You ever practice, or you know you're beyond that? Do you
Well,
practice?
well, I have a practice pad in the coffee table in front of the TV. So if I get bored with the show, I'll just like bang on it a little bit, you know. But no, it's us sitting behind drums and practicing. I don't. I
Me
don't.
either. I don't either.
I feel like I can come up with different ideas if I don't play the same thing all the time when I sit down and play the drums. You know?
See, that's what I'm talking about, man. We play what we feel.
Right.
Even if you know the tune, you know, after a while you just want to try something different, add something different. And
Yeah.
it just and it'll be like a moment where you go, "Oh, that was cool." You just fall into something. You don't even I tell people all the time, if you're on stage thinking, you're not playing, man.
Right.
You got to play. Just play with your feeling, your heart, and your soul. If you got to sit there and think, "Rada McHugh, paddle da 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 do," that
Uh,
no, you
uh,
know, no. We just go. Let's go. And then uh, sometimes, like for instance, you might do. We didn't start the fire. Was it times when Billy might start off like, "We didn't start the fire"? Pull it back. And then the next night, "We didn't start the fire."
right. You got to be there.
It's never like thought we man, you gotta play with a click track on this. You got too many BPMs going right now.
No. No. Now,
I,
the only one that told me I was playing too fast once was what's the guy's name that wrote Footloose? What is his name? Kenny
but
Loggins. Kenny
yeah,
Loggins.
yeah.
We're doing
Footloose.
yeah, we're doing Footloose, and I'm like on fire because it's Footloose. I'm seeing Kevin, what's his name, dancing on top of the car and everything like that. He stopped the song. And he goes, "I don't want any of that 17-year-old energy bullshit. Slow it down." I'm like, Footloose, man. Come on.
Yeah. I've dealt with that a lot of times with people,
Yeah.
man. You get
Yeah.
in the studio, you know, and you play tick tock, tick bang, tick tock, tock, dang, tick tock. But when you get in front of the people
Oh,
and the energy is there, man, we got to bring it now.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
one thing about the music, soul music, rock and roll music, feel good music. Ain't no laws, man. Ain't no speed limit. If you listen to James Brown live as opposed to James Brown in the studio, it's like, and come here this time. Da, 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 Stoppers in the bing bang, but live, bang, come here. Boom, bang,
Yeah.
da, 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 bang, ba-da-da-da-da, bang. You know, it's gotta be energy. That's
I,
why I always admire your drumming.
I saw Sly and the Family Stone in the 60s,
Yeah.
and then you dance to the music. The record goes, dance to the music. They were like, dance to the music. And
Yeah.
the crowd went nuts.
Yeah, man.
Crowd went nuts. And Mitch Ryder, with Mitch Ryder's band, when I played with them, everything was faster than the record. Mitch always did things faster than the record.
Yeah. That's why I always used to like to hear live records. I want to hear the live. You go, you know, Earth, Wind, and Fire live, whoever, Billy Joel live. That's when you really hear the band, the performance. You
Right.
know, I and I went to see the Eagles and Vince Gill and those guys, man. They play that stuff perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. And it's a beautiful thing to listen to watch them and listen.
Right.
But I like performing. I love when the band plays just like the record. But for me, it's kind of, you know, not too exciting when you put the music on your car and you hear, you know, I've been walking down the road and down. I don't know if we should be singing songs. Maybe I can't do that, but I don't like it when you hear the
Yeah.
song. Then you go see the concert, it's the same thing.
Yeah. The difference is when you play it on your stereo whatever electricity you're using, that's what you're paying for. When you go to see it live and it sounds exactly like the same way, but it costs $300. It's like,
Yeah. No, man.
I always say I always say the Eagles killed rock and roll when they with the screen, the plastic thing out in front of the drums, and I mean, can you imagine the old days? Booker T and Otis Redding being up there and with screens and playing exactly like the record.
No. That's not natural. That's not natural. So tell me something about your what do you think about when you're tuning? How do you tune to be Liberty when you tune your drums? What do you go for your personal feeling about it?
Well, I just did an album. I have another band called the Slim Kings, and we did an album. We got signed to a label called Wax Records. It's under the Universal heading, and it's in Canada. And I just did a record that we always listen to something before you actually record. You listen to something that you're striving for. So we listen to a lot of Barry White, a lot of Marvin Gaye, stuff like that. And so those sounds are so good. The bass drum's the snare drum's a little bit flappy. The toms are too nice. There's not a whole lot of cymbals. There's a ride and a crash. Nice hat. So I went for that sound this time. A lot of we have the studio that I play in, that the Slim Kings own. A lot of vintage microphones, like from that time, to get that sound, because I love that sound. I love it.
Just the natural sound.
Yes, a natural sound. That's exactly what it is.
I love that because, like, there was a time when you could listen to records like, I know that's Liberty DeVitto. I don't care a damn who. When you and I jammed together side by side at NAMM one year.
Yeah.
Man, that was so much fun. The first band I ever played with was a 2-drummer band, like I said, but it wasn't like I'm out play Liberty. Liberty, I'm gonna outshine him. No, we were just playing and having fun.
Right.
It wasn't like planned, and we didn't have to be perfect. For me, I like the 2-drummer situation where you can hear the drummers, the 2-drum kits sound like 2-drum guys.
Yeah.
Not perfect, not like
no.
I like to hear it, but it's kind of like you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I did 2 drums at a wedding with Bernard. When Bernard got married, I went to his wedding and they had 2 sets of drums up there, and I got up and played with him, and he lets you take the lead. He's grooving, and he lets you take the lead. He looks at you and like, go ahead. That's exactly what B.B. King did when I sat in that one time when you were playing, and I sat. Billy Preston sat in with you guys.
Right.
BB did the same thing. Just look over and go ahead. Not BB, judgmental, not anything. Just go be yourself.
BB depended on the drummer.
Yeah.
Most band leaders do. Everybody depends on us.
Yeah.
We don't get enough credit. That's why I'm doing my podcast, to talk to my friends like you, to give you credit. I love you, and I love your inspiration and your fire, man. And nothing to take away from anybody else, but once you set that pattern of what that music is supposed to be, man, whoever come in after you, they got to still have that same attitude, or it's not going to work.
Exactly. When they say, oh, he doesn't play like Liberty, or he doesn't play like TC, it's like, no, because he's not Liberty and he's not TC.
Right. Yeah. Just have the same mentality, that same commitment. Just commit.
Right.
Right. So what's like, who in your opinion is a drummer that we can name it, whoever that you think they don't get enough recognition, people don't really pay attention to? Who you got in your mind and your heart that you think, man, you should check out this guy? Who do you think?
Oh, of course, Zigaboo is one of them that
oh yeah.
Both drummers that played with James Brown,
Oh yeah,
those guys were great. I also love
Clyde Stubblefield and Jabbo Starks.
yes, yes. I also love Roger Hawkins. You
Yeah.
know, played all those early R&B Atlantic records.
Oh yeah, down there at Muscle Shoals.
Yeah, yeah. Loved
And
him.
and time out for a minute. They're white guys.
Yes, he's a white guy. Yes, they're
And
all
they're
white. They were
funky
all
and
white
they play
guys.
good.
They were all white guys.
And they were soulful and funky.
Just feeling it. Feeling it.
Yeah,
I don't care what you play. Just feel it. You gotta feel
that's
it.
right.
There was a great scene in the movie about Mozart or Beethoven. What was that movie called? I forget what it was called. But anyway, the student can't get it. The teacher's not in the room. The student can't get it. It just starts pounding on the piano. And the teacher comes in and goes, you know, it's not the notes that you're playing that are bad. It's the feel that you have that's bad. You're not playing with any feeling, you know. So yeah, that's important. The feel. But how do you teach feel? You can't.
No, you can't teach. You
You
can't
need
teach
to listen.
feel,
You need to listen.
and you need to watch
Right.
and pay attention to what the person's doing. I'll give you 3 quick examples. First time I played in a reggae band, excuse me, and they were playing all the reggae hits, Steel Pulse, Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, all the reggae stuff, you know. And guy said, hey man, I got a reggae gig, Tony. You want to do the gig? So I went and did the gig, and he said, we're gonna do some Bob Marley. Yeah, I know Bob Marley. Yeah, man, I know that stuff. So they would go ahead. Anyway, they were doing a Bob Marley. So I'm afraid to sing the song because they're gonna go, hey, you're not paying, whatever. But anyway, I was doing the song, and the groove was like, and it's kind of, he goes off the hat like on the up. And I was going like a regular shuffle. And the guitar player said, drummy, listen. Man, you bad like a snake, man. You're good drummer, drummy, but your reggae suck bad, man. Oh.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna help you. You come by the house, I ain't gonna light a spliff. We're gonna drink some rum. I cook some food. I ain't gonna teach you. But anyway, the guy showed me all the little nuances that you have to listen. You have to listen to it. Don't make that assumption. You got to listen. Same thing. I work with Jamie Johnson in the country band, country artist Jamie Johnson.
Yes, I know. Yeah, Jamie.
And Willie introduced me to Jamie, and I said, hey, Jamie, you need a drummer. And he called me. He said, yeah, Mr. Coleman, I need a drummer and blah, blah, blah. And would you be interested? I said, sure. And I said, I don't know you and I don't know your music. He said, well, you know Willie and you play with BB, you'll be fine. I said, okay, so when's the gig? We're leaving tomorrow night. So I didn't know any of the stuff. But to make this story short, I finally learned his music. And then he was going to fill in for Mr. Merle Haggard on Willie Nelson, Chris Stapleton tour. And the first day because Mr. Haggard was sick, and the first day of the tour, Mr. Haggard passed. And when Jamie got the sound check, he said, I'm not doing my music on this tour. I'm doing all Merle. I was like, ah!
Yeah.
I said, man, I don't know nothing about Kern River. I know the Mississippi River. I don't know. And I'd ask the bass player, what am I going to do? He said, man, I don't even know half these songs. But anyway, I said to Jamie, you need to get a country drummer, somebody that can play country drums. It's not fair to me or you or the audience that I don't know these songs when you want to do them. He said, yeah, I think you're right. So why don't you play percussion? I was like, percussion? What is this going to be, like country Santana or something? You know? But anyway, I went to every country bar in Nashville just watching country, just watching, listening, paying attention, go into the environment and see how these guys play. It's not easy. It looks easy, but it's not.
You have to live it.
Yeah.
You have to live it. You know, you talk about groove and how fat. Just you explaining the Bob Marley song that you had to play, I bet you were playing Lively Up Yourself.
I was.
Lively Up Yourself. I can tell by what you were just
You got to get inside of it, man.
Yeah. Oh,
And,
yeah.
and like the guitarist told me, he said, "Drummer, you know your problem, man. You hear the music, man, but you know, listen." We were in a restaurant. He said, "You hear the people talking at the table? You hear them? Quack, 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 quack." He said, "What did they say?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "Well, listen, be quiet, listen." "Yeah, you know, I didn't like my job today. You got to listen."
Yeah. See, those are lessons. Those are lessons.
Yeah,
That's quarter note, and that's a half
yeah,
note.
not on the paper.
No,
These are things that are natural. You got to know this stuff.
you learn more off the paper than you do on the paper.
Yes, and I'm not criticizing those guys, but
No,
I kind of am, but I'm not.
no, it's all good.
I mean, Buddy Rich didn't read mute charts while he was playing,
Nope.
and he
Nope.
knew all the parts. He knew everybody's parts.
Yeah.
Why? Why did he know them? Liberty?
Yeah. Ringo didn't know, didn't read. Mitch Mitchell from Hendrix didn't read.
Yeah,
No.
and I don't recall James Brown and Ringo and Mitch Mitchell playing to a click track. Do you ever recall?
They were the click track.
Broom, broom, broom. Broom, 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 ba-doom, ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think so.
No. No.
Feeling, man.
All
Man,
good.
it's so good. You on my first podcast, man, and
I love it,
I'm
man.
a,
This
I'm
is
a,
so
and
great. It's not the same. It's not the same crap over and over again. What was Billy like? And what was it? This is like
hey,
talking drums, man.
hey, man, what was Billy like when he?
He was an asshole.
Ah, of course he was. He would tell you
Yeah.
that. People think BB King was this. Oh, he was such a nice, sweet man. He was so humble. He was always so pleasant. Man, BB will cut you, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know Chris Klauser, right? Chris?
Yeah, of course, of course. We did the Northwest Airlines thing.
Yeah. Well,
And you and I and you and I we would do that gig with BB too.
he Chris loved BB. I mean, he loved him. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
always spoke about him.
yeah. Chris, they actually when he was with Northwest Airlines, they actually had a plane that went nonstop from Memphis to LA, and it had the Lucille on the side of it.
Yeah.
And we had to play a gig. We had to play a gig for that plane in Memphis one afternoon, and then we had to go and fly to LA and do it. Have
Yeah.
you ever done gigs like that where you be like on the East Coast and then have to go go to the West Coast?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
no matter how tired you is, your ass gotta play.
You got to be that same guy you were on the East
That
Coast,
same.
the West Coast. Yeah, yeah. But one of the guitar player in the Slim Kings has a Lucille, that guitar.
Yeah.
You know.
I got a Lucille too, man, right here, man.
Oh well, yeah. Love it, love it.
Dude, so are you gonna be working with your band? Tell me about your band again.
Yeah, the Slim Kings. Yeah,
Slim Kings.
yeah, we recorded an album. We did 14 songs. You know, the companies now they put out one song at a time. You know,
Okay.
for every 6 weeks they put out another song, and at the end, then they release an album. That's the way they do it these days. So we're just kind of starting to fire it up and playing out live now. You know, just
Cool.
do that. You know, but with the Lords of 52nd Street, we go play live and stuff. I have a
Yeah.
little. I had a knee injury. You know,
Me too, man. I still got one.
I got a fake knee in here. You know, I had a total knee replacement.
How's it working? I got to do that.
Well, let me tell you something. I got a recall number. You got to do it again.
Oh, yeah.
There was a bad part in there. Yeah.
Ah. Now
Yeah.
you're making me nervous, Liberty. You're making me. I'm gonna keep putting it off now.
If it really hurts, you got to do it.
Yeah, I know I got to do it. So what happened?
So now I got to go back again. I got to take an MRI on Monday, and then they're going to tell me if it's the little plastic pieces in the front and back of the knee, or if the whole knee has to be replaced again.
Is it the kick drum or the hi-hat?
Oh, it's a kick drum. It's the kick drum. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. To hear Ronnie Spector and Sam Moore turn around and look at me and go, "I love your drum, the kick drum."
Yeah.
It was worth putting this new knee in.
Damn, well, I got to do it too, man. I'm bone on bone. I have 2 new hips, so,
Do you?
yeah. I think me and David Garibaldi probably, we know what is hips.
What is hips, baby?
What is hips? Do you think you know? No, you do not. We know what is hips.
That's right.
Show me, you got your book too. Show us your book.
I gotta hold on. I hope this doesn't fall now. Okay.
Oh, you're using it to hold your
There it is.
Liberty.
It's called Life, Billy, and the Pursuit of Happiness. And Billy Joel wrote the forward.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, we made
Very
up
cool.
after 15 years of not talking to each other.
Man, stop, man. Tell Billy, cut that bullshit out, man.
Yeah,
Okay,
but-
I've been playing with your ass since the 1st grade, man. You know, I can tell you when you being an asshole. Now just get out of here.
That's right. That's right.
Cut it
Yeah,
out,
well-
man. Cut it out. We ain't gonna be here forever. So let's
We-
put that beside and let's be cool again.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're friends. We'll never sleep together again, but
Man, you can't make jokes like that anymore, man. People will be like, "Oh man,
well, we
don't
got,
they know drummers? We got sense of humor, man. That's what drummers do. We try to be happy and make everybody happy.
That's right. We're the happiest people in the band.
We are, man, and everybody wish they could be a drummer in the band. Believe it.
Exactly. Everybody thinks they're a drummer. They pick up sticks, they get on the drums, and they hit a cymbal and a snare drum, and they go, "Oh, look, I can play." No, you can't.
I know it's the only instrument that people will just go sit down and go, "Hey, I can do this."
You're right.
Like, excuse me, get your ass up, get out of here.
You know,
You were a Tama guy forever. Are you
Yes.
playing it? You still Tama?
no Tama. Then I went to Mapex after that because Joe Hibbs, you know.
That's right. We're together. What am I talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, we know the same people. So Joe was at Tama. When Joe left Tama, he went to Mapex, and then I went with Joe to Mapex. But then when Joe passed, I was scoping out this drum company called Liberty Drums, and they're from England.
Imagine that. Liberty Drums.
Can you imagine that? They're from England. Everybody thinks it's my company. It's not. But so I went with them, and they've been great. They make great drums, you know. But they're a boutique company, so you know it's like, you know, that, and with Sabian supports, you know.
Of course, yeah. We've been with Sabian forever.
Yeah, and Promark and Evans, you know.
Yeah. I'm doing Vader sticks.
Yeah, good stick.
And Remo heads still.
Yeah.
And let me see, what else do I endorse? I endorse guitar players shutting the hell up. That's what I endorse.
Yeah.
Hey man, listen. I once again, I really love you, bro. I appreciate you, man. You inspire me. So many people love your drumming, man.